It's looking good. I just want to double check. Have we actually? No, we haven't actually created a. We haven't created an edge function. So the edge function, is what is going to call the API call, right? Okay, so we wanna try again here. Like this is very very important. This is a place where I've gone wrong in the past, which I'm trying to correct from here on out. Is that what Lovable will do? So say we want to do a lot of AI calls, which is what we want to do, right? What Lovable will do is that it will create a different edge function for every single AI call that you want to do that analyzes this, that analyzes that, that analyzes that. Okay. And so there's another project that I worked on that I had like 30 edge functions. But in essence, it was all doing exactly the same thing. It was just basically calling a model with a prompt, right? And so a much better way to do that, and this is how I want to structure this from the word go, is actually to build a prompts table. Build a prompts table in our database and then select it and basically just have one edge function. Have one or like a few edge functions for specific things that you are doing. Okay. But if we're just going to hit the same model with a different prompt, asking the AI to do something slightly different, well then we can just do that through one edge function because we're just going to call the same model each time. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask Lovable to create that table for us. Okay. So what we want to do in here is we want to create a prompts table, and we'll also create a models table as well, because what we're also going to do, and this is another huge benefit, is we're going to use OpenRouter because we can switch models a lot easier this way. Okay. So we're using OpenRouter more and more just so it's easier to switch to different models if we need to. What I'm going to do, I could actually probably use one we've already got, right? So without reinventing the wheel. But let's just set up the database first. So two things we've got to do. I think we've got to build two tables in our database. One is a prompts table. So this is where we can store all of our different prompts that we want to run through an AI model. So we just need details about that within that table. And then another table we need is models. So we want to be able to switch easily to a different model that we might collect from OpenRouter. So I think what we want to do is we want to set these two tables up in our database first, and then we'll work on feeding that into an AI API call later on. Okay, so that should come back with some SQL here. Prompts, models, yep. Okay, so it's pretty smart. Like it will set up a lot of these things for us. Yep, okay, I'm just going to go apply changes. I mean, we can always adjust it if it's not good, but it looks good if on first look. Okay, just got to wait for this to work. Okay, so let's have a look in here. This should have updated. Okay, yep. So models and prompts. So what is it asking for? Prompts. Yep. Okay. And models. Yep. Okay, that's all good. Yeah, so it's creating some components and stuff, but we don't actually need, I don't know, I'll just see what it comes up with, but we don't, these are sort of more like back end things. We don't actually need them to be on the front end unless we want to sort of manage, because I want them to be more sort of global things that the user doesn't have to worry about. It's more sort of for an admin to manage. I mean, we could eventually build an admin part of this app if we wanted to, but you can also just do things directly in the database. Okay, so you now have a complete foundation to start working with AI models and prompts. The pages are accessible through the information in the preview routes. Okay, cool. Okay, but something is not right, so let's just go there. Okay, and then the next thing we need to do, and I'm going to go to another one of my apps first and just I'm going to grab the code just so it speeds things up for us, because there's no point in, Okay, now what we'll do is we'll come here to just got to find docs. Okay, so what OpenRouter enables you to do is you can feed in any model. You put in some credits, and you can feed in any model like that gets credit. They seem to have every single model basically. Um, and so what I can do here is I can go TypeScript. Okay, and yeah, I mean all I need to do is copy this. Okay. And so what we want to do is we're going to feed in a dynamic thing there and a dynamic thing here, right? That's what we're basically going to do with those two tables we've created. So instead of creating separate ones, which I've done in the past, we're going to scale it this time. This way I did historically is I did build out all of these different things, right? But yeah, so this was on my historic app, and it was kind of silly, really, when you think about it, because there's just so much to maintain there, and that's why now you just got to absolutely push to the database. You got to try and dynamically feed it into like one singular AI API with parameters. It's just a much smarter way to do things. I'll just create a key. If you bear with me, hold on a second. So keys. I'm going to go course data agents. I won't show you the key on this one. Okay, one of the other great things that Lovable does, right, is it actually saves these secrets to Supabase. It's a far more secure way to save API keys. So my developers just keep hammering me on making sure that we keep everything secure. And this is what every developer online says. You just got to be super secure with how you are managing all your API keys. And so out of the box, Lovable does a pretty good job if you do what they say, if you follow their instructions around how to do it. Okay, and so now it's creating an edge function. Okay. What I should be doing actually, by the way, is I should be deleting all of this stuff. But you see, I got quite far, but I just didn't do it smart. I wasn't smart when I did this. I wasn't, I've got a lot better at what I'm doing here over the last like 2 to 3 months. And so, realistically, I need to go and delete all these. And that just takes a bit of time. I've learned a lot actually in the last couple of weeks from my developers. So we have this new, we're building a lot of applications at Enterprise DNA now. This is sort of like our new wave. This is a new way of adding a lot of value, I think. And we have this sort of thing where I'm building a lot of prototypes now, and my developers are sort of taking it to the next level. And so by doing that, I'm sort of seeing a lot of obviously I've seen a lot of the things that I've done wrong in my prototypes, and I'm learning for the next time I can build more closely in line with their style. And I think that's smart, right? Like that's smart that you're going to go much because they're having to clean up and refactor a lot of my code like historically. And then each time I'm building a new thing and we're exploring it, or maybe even adding new features to what we've already built, I'm able to build more in line with their style in the way that they do things. And I think getting more in sync, that's how you can, if you're in any business, right, and you've identified, okay, this is the next wave, that's exactly what you want to do. Your developers are still incredibly important. Like there's just no way I could build it to the quality of my devs that I've worked with for years, right? So, but I can now set the direction so much better of an app of something, and we can iterate so much faster because I can show them ideas and show them what I'm talking about rather than just like drawing things. That's the huge opportunity now. And so modularity, that's one of the things that I'm learning, is how important modularity is in all setups, right? Just like keeping it simple. As soon as it gets complicated, real struggle for everyone, real struggle for you, real struggle for the AIs, real struggle for your developers to know what the hell you've done.